Welcome back to BRAINroot, and today we're doing a topic you might have already covered in GCSE. But that's the whole point, because we're going to be doing knowledge from GCSE that basically lays a stepping stone into A-level. Topics include such as expanding brackets, solving equations, Pythagoras theorem, and trigonometry. Now I'm going to be covering those in the next few videos, but today we're going to be doing expanding brackets, single brackets. Now I'm just going to be going through a couple of questions together at medium pace and explaining them as I do it. Now, single bracket expansions could look something like 4 times x plus 3. I know it looks a little bit simple, but we'll progressively work ourselves harder and harder. So the aim of this is just basically to take out the brackets. Now, in order to do that, we multiply 4 by each term inside the bracket. So it'll be 4 times x, which gives us 4x, and 4 times plus 3, which gives us plus 12. So it's a pretty simple question, but we'll just use the principles from this and work ourselves into a harder question. So question 2, we've got minus 6a times 4a cubed minus 2a plus 1. Now, straight away I'll notice there's a negative 6a, so obviously if there's a negative number, a negative term inside the bracket, it's going to give a positive product, because if you remember, a negative number times a negative number always gives a positive product. So keeping that in mind so we don't make any silly mistakes. Let's times minus 6a times the first term in the bracket, which is 4a cubed. First of all, I'm going to put a minus down because a negative number times a positive number gives a negative number. 6 times 4 is 24, and a times a cubed. Well, if you remember your GCSE topic of indices, you'll know that like terms such as a and a cubed here, their powers add together when they're being multiplied. So a to the power of 1 times a to the power of 3 will give us a to the power of 4. Now, let's go on to the second term. Minus 6a times minus 2a. Straight away there's two negative numbers, so their product is obviously going to be positive. 6 times 2 is 12, and a times itself is a square. And the last term in the bracket, minus 6a times plus 1, is going to give us minus 6a. So that's pretty simple. Just a little bit of a tricky negative sign in front of the term though. So now let's go up again to question 3. 5 minus 3 times 5x minus 3. Now, this is basically the same as the previous questions, but it's just got 5 in front of it. So we'll deal with the 5 later on. We'll first deal with this single bracket expansion. So we'll just put the 5 down here and ignore it for a bit. So the first term in the bracket is 5x. We times that by minus 3. Which is going to give us minus 15x. And minus 3 times minus 3, which is the second term in the bracket, is going to give us plus 9. Again, remembering that a negative number times a negative number gives a positive product. Now, but we're not done here yet, because we can simplify that down into another step. So we've got minus 15x as it is, and the 5 and 9 can add together to give us 14. And that will be our answer. So let's move on to question 4, which is going to be the last question on single brackets. 2 times 4x squared minus 6x plus 1 in bracket minus x squared minus 4x plus 2. Now I know it looks really long, but it's just basically two single bracket expansions. And we're going to do the same thing as we did there. We're going to do this first, ignore that for a bit, and then come on to that. So we've got 2 outside the bracket here, and let's times 2 by each term inside the bracket. So 2 times 4x squared is going to simply give us 8x squared. Second term is minus 6x, so straight away minus 2 times 6 is 12, and the x comes along as well. And the last but not least term in this bracket is 1, so 2 times 1 is simply just plus 2. Now let's go on to this bracket. Now the thing that's interesting about this is, some people may write down minus x squared minus 4x plus 2, which is of course wrong, because this is basically a single bracket in disguise, because you're timesing minus 1 by this bracket. Their signs have to change around because there's a minus here and there's brackets here. So if you times minus 1 by each single term, we're basically reversing their signs. So x squared becomes minus x squared, minus 4x becomes positive 4x, and plus 2 becomes minus 2. That's because minus 1 times plus 2 is minus 2, minus 1 times minus 4x gives us plus 4x, and minus 1 times x squared gives minus x squared. So let's simplify this whole big expression down. So we've got an 8x squared here and another minus x squared here. Now they can subtract to give us 7x squared. And we've got minus 12x here and a plus 4x there. So we'll get minus 8x. Now we've got a plus 2 here and a minus 2 here. Now we've got really big expressions and you've got two same numbers with different signs, such as 2 and minus 2. You can cross them off. Well, this will be the same if you've got an x and a minus x, or a minus 4y and a plus 4y, because if you add 2 to minus 2, you're going to get 0. So there's no point doing any more math, you can just cross them off. So we're left with this answer. So again, we've just worked through these single bracket expansions. They're pretty simple, but you just apply these into bigger sums. So this will, if you use this knowledge into double bracket expansion, which I'll be doing in the next video, you're all good to go.